NTA International News.
Activities commemorating 56th Independence Anniversary of Nigeria flag off with interdenominational church service. President Buhari makes case for the establishment of a United Nations agency dedicated to youths. Plus, corresponding on special assignment on efforts at ensuring that Nigeria is free from preventable diseases. Hello there, welcome to NTA International News. I'm Nancy Godi Angunihu. And I begin this story with a quote. God is building a new Nigeria where citizens will live and work together irrespective of their status for our collective development, end of quote. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said this during a church service to mark Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary held at the National Christian Center, Abuja. We bring you details of this report in our subsequent bulletins. This service was attended by Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. Yes, we said we'll bring you details of that report in our subsequent bulletins. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Abuja after attending the 71st session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, United States. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president, who had a series of engagements with other world leaders on issues of significance to Nigeria during the week-long visit, arrived Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at about 5 o'clock Sunday morning. He was received on arrival by his Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari, Minister of FCT, Muhammad Musa Bello, Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olanisake, Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukuru Buratai, Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, Acting EFCC Chairman Ibrahim Magu, and other senior government officials. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode and the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, described the trip as highly beneficial to Nigeria.
Successful and very impactful, and almost in every sector we're able to make impact on the issues that relate to the development and growth of Nigeria. I actually even want to say that this trip has been so more fruitful for Lagos State because we now have some people that are willing to sign on and bring investment to Lagos State. So I will say that I'm grateful to Mr. President for giving me the opportunity to come alongside with him and also allowing me to get more investment for Lagos State.
Of all trips that the president has gone on, this one has been very, very significant because the issues that were discussed seemed to be Nigerian issues, though it was a global stage. Talk of IDPs, talk of migrants, talk of the Lake Chad Basin Commission. These are all issues that Nigeria had been championing. Suddenly, Nigerian issues became global issues. And therefore, it's not surprising that at the end of the day, Nigeria is going home with over $300 million in aids to the Lake Chad Basin region. It's a good development. There are also promises of aid and help even to internally displaced people in Nigeria.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, says President Muhammadu Buhari is pushing for the establishment of a United Nations agency dedicated entirely to youths. The president believes this will curb youth unemployment, militancy, restiveness, vandalism, and terrorism globally. The minister said this at a wrap-up meeting with the media at the Nigeria's permanent mission in New York. Gabriel Odu reports.
The Nigerian permanent mission is strategically located at 44th Street, 2nd Avenue, Manhattan. It is about 10 minutes walk to the United Nations headquarters. The briefing by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, centered on a wide range of issues which President Muhammadu Buhari brought to the fore.
A UN agency was created for women and gender issues, and the belief of Mr. President is that one is also required for the youth. So the point there is that Mr. President is engaged fully with the national issues that he's confronting: the economy, the security, and governance.
On bilaterals, the minister said the president had meetings with U.S. President Barack Obama, British Prime Minister Theresa May, and a host of other world leaders.
Our president was able to keep the United States, I think, engaged with the eyes still on Nigeria in the area of security, helping with the, as far as the economy is concerned, encouraging U.S. businesses to come and invest in Nigeria, and of course helping us with our anti-corruption drive. And we're hoping also, at least they've shown an interest in selling us some military hardware, subject of course to their congressional approvals.
The minister also shed light on the Sustainable Development Goals for effective domestication after 1 year of its launch. In New York, Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed has hailed the global endorsements which President Muhammadu Buhari received from world leaders during his recent trip for the 71st session of the UN General Assembly, and appealed to Nigerians to continue to support the president. In a statement signed by the Special Assistant to the Minister, Segun Adeyemi, the minister said it was particularly delightful to hear from world leaders that President Buhari's determined and committed leadership, as well as his integrity, have given Nigeria a positive image in the Committee of Nations. He said the global community's appreciation of the giant strides that have been made by President Buhari's administration in fighting terrorism and corruption, as well as in deftly managing the nation's economy at a time of global economic downturn, is an indication that the administration is on course in its quest to ensure a better life for the people. The minister maintained that 3 areas, the economy, security, and the fight against corruption, are the priorities of the Buhari administration, and its efforts have not gone unnoticed globally. Towards leaders, including U.S. President Barack Obama, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, French President François Hollande, and Switzerland's President Johann Schneiderman, all took turns to extol President Buhari's leadership. Lai Mohammed appealed to Nigerians to allow it serve as a source of hope and pride to all who have borne the brunt of the difficulties associated with the current economic downturn, as well as the country's negative global image in the past. While thanking Nigerians for their perseverance, he said there is no doubt that by continuing to give unalloyed support to the president, they will be ensuring that these tough times will not last. He said the fact that the president was able to highlight and seek a global rallying point on critical issues during his trip will have a positive effect on the country. He also expressed optimism that the country will soon begin to reap the benefits of the U.S. African Business Forum and the meeting with top Nigerian professionals, which took place on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. And now to our first story, which began with a quote. God is building a new Nigeria where citizens will live and work together, irrespective of their status, for our collective development. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said this during a church service to mark Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary held at the National Christian Center, Abuja.
So our message to Nigeria today as Christians is be strong and of good courage. Do not be dismayed. God is faithful. He has promised and he will fulfill his promise.
Nigeria is usually described as a nation flowing with milk and honey because it is endowed with abundance of human and material resources.
The service was attended by Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and his wife, top government functionaries, service chiefs, captains of industry, as well as the clergy. Also in attendance were a one-time Vice President of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ekweme, and the Governor of Bayelsa State, Seriake Dixon, among many others. It featured the rendition of hymns and praise worship. The federal government The federal government says it will collaborate with the West African countries on ways of tackling the challenges associated with movements of animals across the region. In a message to a workshop on pastoralism in Bauchi, the Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Khadija Abba Ibrahim, says the movement of cattle have created socio-economic challenges in the country. Adamu Haruna Adams reports.
The one-day sensitization program aims at creating awareness among stakeholders about the dangers of transhumance, not only on peace, security and development, but also on long-existing human relationships in West African sub-region in general and in Nigeria in particular. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Hajia Khadija Bukar, represented by Director, ECOWAS Division and Head of ECOWAS National Unit, Ambassador Manager Isa, says in recent times, the movement of cattle rearers across the sub-region has increased incidences of violent conflicts between nomadic pastoralists and farmers. She adds that the development has dire consequences on security, development and democratic consolidation in the sub-region.
We need at any time to come together and settle our differences. For the community to move forward, for stability, for peace, and indeed for development.
Bauchi State Governor, represented by the State Head of Civil Service, Liman Bello, also laments the implications conflicts occasioned by seasonal movements of herdsmen on socio-economic development and security of Nigeria, and recommends some solution to the challenge.
This poses a serious security threat to the country, and it needs to be tackled as a matter of urgency.
In their separate goodwill messages, representatives of the Minister of Agriculture, Emir of Bauchi and other relevant stakeholders stressed the need to bring to an end communal clashes between farmers and cattle rearers. In Bauchi, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTA News.
In continuation of the clearance operations against suspected livestock rustlers, armed bandits, and other criminal elements in its area of operations, units of 1 Division Nigerian Army have cleared livestock rustlers and armed bandits in Kaduna State and arrested an electric cable vandal in Katsina State. Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Kukasheka Usman said, based on information received from the vigilante group in the local government area of Kaduna State on the activities of some notorious armed bandits and kidnappers around Yadoka village, troops of 11 Field Engineer Regiment carried out raid operations in the area. During the operation, they killed 3 armed bandits and kidnappers, while others escaped with gunshot wounds. The troops recovered 15 Dane guns, 6 locally fabricated pistols, 1 touchlight pistol, 3 empty cartridges and cases, and 52 shells of ammunition. Similarly, following a tip-off from some well-meaning and patriotic citizens on the activities of suspected electric cable vandal named Nazir Kazem of Dankama village of Keita local government in Katsina State, troops stormed the area and arrested the suspect in the act, while 2 of his accomplices escaped. Now, the Insurgency Victims Support Fund Committee has donated agro products to internally displaced persons and their host communities in Taraba State. The relief materials are to enable them to go into farming and be producers of their food crops rather than waiting for food for support from others. Joseph Ortsin has the story.
The internally displaced persons with members of their host communities are drawn from 12 communities in Taraba State. They are represented by a household each, comprising of 10 members. The relief materials distributed to the people include bags of fertilizers and seedlings, such as rice, soybeans, and maize. Representing Governor Darius Dixit Ishaku at the occasion, the Secretary to the State Government, Anthony Jenelson, commended the federal government for the gesture, saying it is a far better measure of cushioning the hunger of the IDPs and bearing burden by their host communities.
Instead of somebody giving them 5 measures of maize or 5 measures of rice, now, once they farm and they harvest, it will be more than bags.
Mr. Payham Randoms is the program assistant researcher of the Insurgency Victim Support Fund. He says the idea is to enable them produce food crops that will sustain them at the long run.
We have provision of all these materials for 2,000 IDP households in Taraba. So, and each household can go to as much as 10 people in a household. So the people that benefit from this are obviously way more than the 2,000.
They give us, each household is four bags of fertilizer. That is 2 bags of NPK 1515, 2 bags of 2010, and 10 kg of each household to get maize, 10 kg, every household. Then 10 kg of soya beans, then 10 kg of beans to every household. So we give thanks to God and we give thanks to them.
Adding to the support, Mr. Rendams revealed agrochemicals will be supplied to the people after cultivation and planting for the maintenance of the farms, while a loan of about 20,000 naira is being processed for each of the households. A biometric is being taken to ensure transparency. In Jalingo, Joseph Uten, NTA News.
Watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Bring you more reports when we return.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the program of events to commemorate Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary. Detail of the low-key program is as follows. Friday, 30th September, public lecture, 11 a.m. to 12:50 p.m. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Attendance is open. Jumat prayers, 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Attendance is open. Saturday, 1st October, presidential change of guard. Venue, forecourt of the Presidential Villa, State House, Abuja. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Bolaji Adebi, Director Press, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, announcer.
The Writers' Forum in Abuja has joined the League of other organizations to champion the reawakening of the reading culture among Nigerians for the advancement of education in the country. To this end, the forum has set aside every last Saturday of the month to interact with guest writers and the general public to sustain the effort. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu covers one of the writers' session.
The guest writers session avails the general public the opportunity to interface with the writers towards attracting more writers, as well as rekindle the spirit of the reading culture among Nigerians. Apart from this, a poet, Basiru Sunday, also thrilled the participants to some poetry on current happenings in the country.
That my refinery's light will shine so bright, oiling the life of a nation's drive. And we go back to innocence, taking our place as Africa's pride, where corruption is given a fatal blow, and the criterion for me being your friend has nothing to do with my tribe.
President Abuja Writers Forum Imam Usman Shehu said they will not relent until the lost glory of reading is rekindled.
Books are published, and most Nigerians don't know that the books are published. So this is a kind of gap. It provides an opportunity for the audience to know there is a book.
Some of the writers say, though the journey has been challenging, however, express happiness on how some of their works are impacting positively on the lives of the people.
When it comes to the creative arts, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, you really have to work very, very hard to make sure that you're continuing to keep doing your best, that you're not giving in to the frustration.
It has really been challenging, especially if you produce a work and you feel you've done your best and then you send it out and it comes back rejected.
Musicians were also on hand to thrill guests. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
And to some health reports, sustaining the successes recorded in the health sector has been one of the major challenges of the efforts at ensuring that Nigeria is free from preventable diseases. Health correspondent Uche Mwizu takes a look at the recent cases of poliovirus in some parts of the country.
Nigeria had contained diseases such as Ebola virus, guinea worm, smallpox, cholera, among other health challenges, and was at the verge of being certified polio-free before its recurrence just 1 year to the target date due to insecurity in some parts of the country. Experts in the health sector trace it to lack of sustainability strategies.
And what we have, one setback that we have in Nigerian health system is that the health is on concurrent. The teaching hospital and federal centers are under the federal government, while the general hospital under the state government, and they are doing very well. Well, we have 215 primary healthcare centers in FCT, for example, and they are under the local government, and they don't have good resources to do that. But now I think the government are doing very well. Even the local government has started working up in revenue generation in order to make sure that they are maintaining their health system. That's the only way. If there are clinics around, if there's any disease identified, patients or individual can move into the clinic and seek care immediately.
With the Zika virus spreading to more countries in the world and against the backdrop of diseases contained by Nigeria, what measures should be put in place to brave the unexpected, knowing that Nigerians travel a lot?
A lot of public health research that needs to be done, which this institute has started doing, and developing ourselves and the expertise to respond to that disease should it come to Nigeria. We have just committed about 9 billion naira to the polio response in Nigeria. Now, what we need to do is find the resources to commit expertise in peacetime as well as in when we have a crisis.
For some citizens, personal hygiene is the key.
I watch what I eat one day, and I keep my environment very neat.
I have to be checking myself often, even if there's any case, such a thing that I want to arise, I can be able to start on time to start going for the treatment.
What I gathered from experts is that for sustainability of disease control to endure in Nigeria, disease notification, health insurance scheme, and surveillance system must be stepped up. In Abuja, Uche Wizu, NTA News.
Now, Oku Emenyong brings us a package of major global events.
Swiss voters are in a referendum to decide whether to back new surveillance powers for the country's intelligence agencies. The new laws projected to allow the authorities to tap phones, snoop on emails, and deploy hidden cameras